Hello, tchotchkes. Welcome back to another episode of the Cha Cha Beat. I'm starting to get the hang of this. I am no longer terrified to turn the camera on. Oh my God, tchotchkes, you should have seen me like 2 months ago, let alone like a year or 2 years ago. I would have like serious, like heart speeding up, sweat down my face, dripping down my back. Like I was so terrified to talk into this camera. And like now I can just turn it on. No big deal. Hey, tchotchkes, what's going on? So happy to see you. And then blank. It still is a little bit of a struggle, tchotchkes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still trying to like figure out what this beat is all about. Like, obviously, it's in service to you, it's in service to my book, which is in service to you, with the mission of helping us feel a little less lonely and a little less vapid in a world, let alone an internet that is increasingly boring and redundant and dead. Like, do you know, have you heard this like term, like the internet is dead? And it's referring basically to like AI and how like everything is like artificially generated. Like any video you watch is just going to be like CGI or AI animation with like an AI voiceover reading a script that AI wrote. But I think that it also extends to the concept of like on YouTube, like you could be scrolling on like your feed on YouTube and you'll see a video, like for example, I saw one the other day and I was like, "Oh my God, that's like the perfect example." And I should have like written it down or like actually made a note of it. And now I'm here and it was like the truth about something or like why you're actually stuck or why you actually like are why you can't lose weight or like something like that. And then I scrolled like three more videos. I swear, like the next three videos I saw were all different like content creators that were all doing the exact same video. Like I didn't watch it because like it wasn't something that necessarily interested me, mostly because I'm not interested in someone telling me in like 15 minutes how they're going to fix my life because they're not, and I'm not gonna get those 15 minutes back. But, like, everything is just like and as someone who, I'm dabbling in the YouTube universe and did a decent amount of education on, like, how to do YouTube, and it's all like, "Oh, like, find a video that works, and then just re repurpose it, reformat it. Do it your do the same video just in your own voice, and then create a thumbnail that looks pretty much like the other thumbnail, but just, like, a couple different colors, maybe a slightly different play on words, but don't stray too far away from your inspiration because that's what works. That's what, you know, the people, the audiences have clicked on. That's like the proven strategy. So, like, heaven forbid you actually have like an original idea and think for yourself and do your own creativity and content out there and take a chance. Like, I'm putting this out there. I have no idea whether or not anyone's gonna like it. You know why I have no idea whether or not anyone's gonna like it? Because no one has ever done this before. Because I didn't watch a video and say, great, that video got 300,000 views. I'm gonna do the same video. I'm gonna do the same exact content just on my channel in my voice. Like, yeah, the internet is dead because no one is taking chances or risks anymore. I mean, it's the same thing with like Hollywood. Hollywood is dead because every movie is a fucking remake of something that was already proven to be successful. Do you know that they're, like, coming out with a Toy Story 5 or 6 or whatever it was? Like, wasn't the last Toy Story I haven't honest disclosure, I have not seen any Toy Stories since, like, the first 2 I think I saw. Definitely saw the first one. It was, like, a phenomenon when it came out. Definitely saw that one, but I think that I did not follow up. Maybe I saw the trilogy, like, the first 3, maybe, once. But anyway, the last one that came out, let's look this up. Toy Story, the original, 1995. Toy Story 2, 1999. Toy Story 3, 2010. Toy Story 4, 2019. And Toy Story 5, 2026. Toy Story Terror, 2013. Toy Story Treats, I guess that was a TV series that went from 96 to 2000. Toy Story 3 in real life, 2020. Toy Story Toons Hawaiian Vacation, 2011. So, like, why do we need another Toy Story? Like, there's no other stories that can be told. These are the only toys that have stories, is what Buzz Lightyear and what's the other guy? The Woody, the cowboy. This is it. These are the only toys that have stories. These are the only stories that Hollywood is willing to put out. I saw another commercial for Meet the Fockers is having another remake come out. Let's look at that one. So Meet the Parents, the original one, came out in 2000. Meet the Fockers, the sequel, came out in 2004. Like, it's done. We don't need to meet any more of them. There are other characters. We don't need another Meet the Fockers in 2026. There's got to be other ideas, other characters. But Hollywood doesn't want to do that because, you got to follow the pattern, you got to follow the algorithm, you got to follow the storyline that the audience has already approved of. We already have proof that this is going to sell. So why should we take a risk on an original idea? Just churn out leftovers. It's like they're making some kind of like soup, and every time we eat the soup, and I love soup. I love soup. It's my favorite food. Like, don't get me wrong, soup is delicious. But I like it the first time it's served. I like it as leftovers the next night, you know? But, like, don't serve me 20-year-old soup with a couple of CGI vegetables added on top and tell me that this is an original soup, an original idea, and something that I should be excited and interested in, let alone, like, spend my money on. YouTube, you don't need to spend your money to watch these videos. So I guess there's that. But like, even on X, like, I'll be scrolling on X and I will see someone sent an X or a tweet. Do we still call it tweets? Someone will post a tweet that says, like, there was one I saw that it was like, you know, there's going to be a time in your life when you eat an edible brownie or an edible something and you don't think it's working. And it is very important that you do not eat another brownie. First time I saw that, honestly, I laughed a little bit. Yeah, that's funny. I have been in that experience where, like, oopsie, should not have eaten that second one. Little too intense. Like, okay, that's some wisdom there. I have since seen that exact same tweet, and it's not like they're retweeting where like someone is like quote capturing this tweet and then sending that out as like, oh yeah, this is timeless advice. No, they're tweeting it as if it is their own idea, because that idea, that tweet, proved to get a reaction out of people, to get likes, to get reposts, to get reaction or comments. So they are packaging it as if it was their own idea. And like, I saw one of a girl that I know from high school, her husband is relatively out, like, successful, I suppose. Like, he's been on like daytime TV a couple times for I think he does, like, financial advice or something, I don't really know. But he has a relatively large following, he is somewhat of, like, a online personality, and I saw that he tweeted this, like, I don't know, it was a couple months ago at this point, but he tweeted this of like, "Oh, there's going to be a time in your life when you eat a brownie, and it's very important that you don't eat another brownie," and I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, that's not you didn't think of that. That's not your idea. That's not your joke. Like, I can't even imagine wanting to do that. Like, why would I want to retweet something that I read, that someone else said, that I read, that I thought was funny, and now I'm just gonna, like, take credit for it as if, like, it were my original idea? Like, ew, like, that just makes me feel yucky just, like, thinking about it. I saw another tweet where it was like, "Hey, Apple, like, when I turn the brightness down on my phone, leave it alone." And I laughed out loud at that because, yeah, Apple, leave my phone alone. If I turn the brightness down, you don't need to automatically, like, lift it back up. If I want the brightness back on, I'll turn it back on, you know? All I have to do is tap, like, it's not hard. And so I laughed out loud, and then and I'm not, like, interacting with these tweets. Like, sometimes I'll give them a like. I never comment on X. I never retweet or anything like that. Every so often, I'll like something, but honestly, the little icons to like it all are very tiny, and so I'm very much a observer on X. Like, I really do not participate. I just take it in. So, it's not as if, like, the algorithm's like, "Oh, she liked that tweet. Let's show her the same tweet over and over again from, like, 10 different people all claiming that this is their original idea." Like, this is what people say when they mean that the internet is dead. And it's sad because, like, the internet is amazing. It is this tool that can connect people. Like, we've never had such an opportunity in all of human history. Well, history that, like, we know of. Like, who knows what was going on, like, way back when. Not get into, like, conspiracy theories right now. But anyway, in, the 2026, AD year that we're in all of the years that have come before that, as far as we know, this is the first time in human history that people have the ability to communicate with each other across lands, across oceans, to find commonalities. If you feel like an outcast where you are, you can hop online and find a whole community of people that are just like you. And that's amazing. And we can come together and we can rally and we can share ideas, let alone that, like, the barrier to entry for creativity is done. Like, the wall has been knocked down. No more do you need to go through a one of the top 6 big 6 publishers in New York City of, like, Simon and Schuster or Penguin Publishing or Random House. Like, you don't need to go through them anymore. If you have an idea for a book or a story or a movie, like, you don't need to pitch to go to the big guys anymore. You can produce it on your own. And if it's good enough, if the people like it enough, you will get the notoriety. Like, you've got to work to, you know, get the attention and make a splash, which is why we're here at the Cha Cha Beat. Have I mentioned that I'm writing a book? It's called Let Me Out, I'm Stuck. It's a memoir, but it's, like, not like any other memoir that you've ever read, because this memoir, you don't need to read in order. You can read a beat, which is like an excerpt from the story, a beat from chapter 10, then a beat from chapter 2. Every excerpt is a story independent of itself, a beginning, a middle, an end, a heart, a soul, a purpose, a meaning. Like, each beat is a song. And you don't need to listen to the entire album. You can listen to just one song and, like, get full meaning and satisfaction out of that. But then if you want to know, like, the whole story and how it all fits together, you've got to listen to the whole album. like the album would be like a chapter. And then if you really want to know how it all fits together within like the lifelong works of that creator, you have to read the whole book. But you don't have to listen to the first album they ever wrote before you listen to the last song that they ever wrote in order to understand the significance of that song. So that's my memoir. That's Let Me Out, I'm Stuck. That's what brings me here today, because fuck going through a publisher. You know, there was a time in my life not too long ago. I mean, I guess it was probably like 10 years ago at this point. Ooh. There was a time in my life when I had been working on my book for like a year or two. Like, I had a solid concept. I had like an act 1, act 2, act 3. I had a general plot timeline. I had the hero's journey of the protagonist. And I stopped writing the actual book and detoured to start writing a book proposal, because if this book was ever going to get published, I needed to like sell the idea to someone in an ivory tower to like tell me whether or not I was good enough. And like, obviously, I never actually submitted anything because I decided that I don't want to, like, have to beg for someone to tell me that my writing is good enough. I don't want to have to pay for an agent that I'm gonna have to give 15% to, and then, go to a big 6 publishing house that is going to take another 25% of whatever it is and take credit for all of my creativity, let alone tell me what everything that's wrong with it. So then I decided, you know what, this is all too hard, and I like stopped working on it altogether. But in the last 2 years, the whole project, the dream, has been revived, and I see now that I don't need to go through like some big shot in a bigwig office in Manhattan to get approval to share my voice with people. Because you know what? That bigwig in Manhattan, honestly, he or she, they're just a big scaredy pants, scaredy cat, and they don't want to publish anything that, honestly, that hasn't been published before. Everything now is just a remake, a redo, a refurbish, a republish of something that has already come about. And that is not how I roll. I believe that sometimes you have to take a risk. Creativity is about taking risks. Like, there's a scene in Mad Men. Maybe I'll see if I can find it and like splice it into this video. Or maybe I'll just tell you about it now and not worry about the intensity of trying to edit all that in, because we're just trying to take these videos step by step, tchotchkes, and not get too bogged down in like the perfectionism of it all. But there's a scene in Mad Men when Don Draper is giving a pitch for some product that he's trying to sell, because he's like the advertising man. And I don't even know if I'd be able to find this clip because I can't remember any details about it besides the fact that they were telling him, like, oh, that's too risque. Like, no one's going to want to buy what it is you're selling. And Don Draper said back to them, like, people don't know what they want. Like, it's up to me to, it's up to us as the creatives to show them what is possible, to show them what they want, to show them what is available to them. Like, people would just choose the same things over and over again. Like, you need the visionaries to be able to say, wait a minute, there's a whole new way of looking at it. And then the people say, whoa, we didn't even know that that's what we wanted. We never even thought about it that way. And that's why Don Draper was a genius, even though he was a pretty horrible person. I'm not saying that I'm a genius. I'm not saying that I'm definitely not saying that I'm a horrible person. I'm just saying that the internet, it may not be dead yet, but it is definitely dying. And that's why I'm here. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm here, because I believe in the power of the internet. I believe that it is such a force of good for creatives, for artists of whatever medium, whether you're talking or writing or singing or, dancing or playing music or showing your art, whatever it is that you are presenting to the world, you no longer need to go through the gatekeepers of like high society or academia or whatever it is to like approve of you, because they really only approve of things that have been proven before. They don't want to take chance. There's too much money. There's too much money at risk in Hollywood for them to say, "Ooh, what if we created a story with different characters? Like what if we just introduced the public to all new characters and it was just a silly story with slap humor jokes that have not been told before? What if it's not a sequel? What if it's not a prequel? Like, what if we just do a totally original concept?" Ooh, that sounds expensive. That sounds pretty risky. And so they don't do it. But, that's their loss because Hollywood is dying. The internet is dying. I can't save Hollywood. I mean, why would you want to? But maybe I can help save the internet. Maybe I can be on the side of good for the internet because it doesn't have to die. The internet does not need to be a wasteland of AI and like chatbots. Let's bring humanity back to the internet. Let's bring creativity back to the internet. Let's bring risk and messiness and love. Let's bring love back to the internet because I'll tell you one thing AI cannot do. AI does not know how to love. It may know how to define the word love. It may be able to use the word love in a sentence, but AI cannot actually feel love. Can you feel love, tchotchkes? Do you feel the love? There's so much love going into this broadcast right now. I know it's coming out as like a little bit of like rage and a rant because it's like just so upsetting to be scrolling through YouTube and like seeing like, yeah, I'm seeing videos from different creators, but they're all fucking the same. Like, I just can't imagine. Like, these people must have like no dignity. Like, all they care about is making the ad dollars, making the money. Toy Story 5, I mean, honestly, like, we need to, like, boycott Toy Story 5 because that's not gonna be the end. If Toy Story 5 is a success, there's gonna be a Toy Story 6, Toy Story 7, Toy Story 8, 9, 10. Because the thing with these, Pixar movies is it's not like the actors are getting old. It's been 30 years since 1995, since the original came out. And it's only because they're all digitally created, these characters, that they're able to make another movie. Because if it was real life characters, obviously they've all aged out of playing these roles. So they're not going to stop unless we say enough already. We're so bored with the same shtick, the same characters, lack of risk and animation. Well, I guess it's not it is animated. The lack of imagination, that's the word I was looking for, not animation, imagination. I got it. Stick with me, tchotchkes. I'm gonna figure it out. I know this is a little clunky right now. I know I keep hitting the microphone. I know I'm like bouncing the table. I know that I am a little long-winded. I know all these things. I'm not, as we have established, I'm not a genius, but I'm not stupid. Like, I know what's going on here. I know that I've got a lot of work ahead of me and there's a lot of room for improvement. But unlike a lot of creators on YouTube, I'm not afraid to take a chance. I'm not afraid to do something completely different, to put myself out there. And you know what? when Seinfeld came out in 1994, I think it was, something around there, and it proclaimed itself a show about nothing, everyone was like, "Well, that's gonna fail. That's a terrible idea. Like, who wants to watch a show about nothing?" And so I'm coming to you in 2026, and this is not a podcast that is going to teach you how to lose belly fat in 2 weeks, and I'm not going to teach you about, like, the history of whatever it is that people are talking about on YouTube that are trying to teach you. I'm not an expert in anything, really. Like, the point of the Cha Cha Beat is not to teach you, is not to for me to be up here and for you to be like the lowly watchers. Like, the point of the Cha Cha Beat is for us to just be together, to hold space for creativity, for originality, for opportunity, and to bring some life and heart and love back to the internet. So if you're with me, tchotchkes, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you are curious about my book, Let Me Out, I'm Stuck, please head over to chachabeat.com. That's where you're going to find all of the excerpts from my book. You do not need to read them in order. Just give 3 beats a try, and I promise you, you're going to want to know more. You're going to be into the story. You're going to be like, wow, I've never read this before. I've never thought about it like this before. How refreshing. And if you think that, please subscribe on the website. It will really help me out because, like I said, I am not going through a big publisher. Not because, I'm not good enough or whatever, but because I'm I'm too good. No, I'm not too I modesty. We are modest here at the Cha Cha Beat. Well, you would know that if you watched a couple of my episodes, you would see how modest I am because while I am appearing here to have a lot of zip, there's plenty of episodes in which I'm talking about how I struggle so much with the fear of being here and lack of self-worth and just all the things that kept me down for the first 40 years of my life. But 41 years now, and I'm done with all of that in my book. So if you want to bring the internet alive again, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, check out my book at chachabeat.com, and until next time, keep calm and cha-cha on. Cha cha cha.